when your colleagues are pitching because the connection is not very good. So please try to not use it. So are you ready now? Yeah. We will start in a few minutes. And welcome to everyone, and thank you for our judges to be here. Thank you very much.
We're just waiting a moment for our speaker, so we will get cracking shortly, okay?
Yes, we can't start without
So we hope to begin in about 5 minutes, okay? 5 minutes. Okay, so we will get started. Hello and a very warm welcome to you all to this, the 8th Ocean Hackathon. My name is Rob, and as my accent probably tells you, I'm British, and I will be your presenter today. I would just like to apologise for if I mispronounce any of your names, apart from the people from Bournemouth and Plymouth, but that's also possible, or any of the cities, any of your home cities. It's absolutely bound to happen. So my apologies in advance. Without further ado, I would like to welcome our opening speaker today, Monsieur Michel Gauthier, the President of Technopole Brest-Iroise, Vice President of Brest Metropole, in charge of economic affairs. Welcome, sir.
Bonjour à toutes et à tous. Voilà, donc j'ai bien amené mon t-shirt, hein, donc je me suis acquitté de mon devoir. Et donc, merci, hein, merci d'être là. Merci à celui qui vient de me présenter. Et donc, bienvenue ici, hein, au Capucins, où j'imagine que la chaleur des travaux de notre Ocean Hackathon va contribuer à réchauffer cette atmosphère bien grise, hein, quand on arrive, hein, qui nous montre bien que nous sommes arrivés au cœur de l'hiver. Donc, quelques mots sur l'endroit où nous sommes, puisque c'est dans un lieu qui est chargé d'histoire, qui s'appelle, pour ceux qui ne le connaissent pas, les ateliers des Capucins. Ils ont été construits au XIXe siècle et leur vocation a été d'être destinée à la motorisation des navires de la marine nationale. En fait, quand celle-ci a fait sa transition et passé de la propulsion à la voile à la propulsion motorisée. Donc c'est là que les ateliers des Capucins, et pour cela que les ateliers des Capucins sont nés, au-dessus de la Pafel, de façon à ce que les moteurs puissent descendre, parce que c'est plus facile de descendre que de monter les bateaux. Et donc, la Marine nationale n'avait plus besoin de ces équipements, de ce site. Elle a cédé à la ville de Brest en 2009. Et depuis, donc, ce plateau a subi une reconversion totale, une transfiguration, mais en conservant, on l'espère, son esprit, son âme, et reconverti à la fois en lieu culturel et d'activité. Et aujourd'hui, par exemple, les Capucins accueillent le site que nous appelons 70.8, qui est à côté, que je crois que vous visiterez demain, et qui est le lieu de démonstration qui est consacré aux sciences et technologies marines. Là aussi, d'ailleurs, aux Capucins a été installé le premier téléphérique urbain de France, que peut-être certains auront utilisé entre ce site des Capucins et le centre-ville de Brest. Les Capucins accueillent également au premier étage, au-dessus de nous, une partie de l'équipe du technopôle brest-tiroise, la French Tech Brest-Bretagne-Ouest, puisque Brest fait partie des 14 capitales French Tech, et qui démontre ainsi la force de notre écosystème numérique. Donc nous sommes vraiment ravis de vous accueillir, car vous venez parfois de loin, en France de Toulon, voire d'encore plus loin, de Rimouski ou de Kuala Lumpur, par exemple. J'ai aussi, mais je vais sûrement me tromper sur l'orthographe, c'est, alors, en français Peniche, mais j'imagine que c'est pas ça. C'est ça. Donc voilà, donc je souhaite vivement que votre séjour à Brest, Brest qui est la capitale française des sciences et technologies de la mer, que ce séjour se passe bien et que vous puissiez en profiter pour rencontrer plusieurs de nos acteurs maritimes. Et je souhaite également la bienvenue aux personnes qui assistent à cette grande finale à distance. Notre territoire compte plus de 42 600 emplois maritimes qui sont eux-mêmes répartis entre 2650 établissements. La communauté scientifique publie 1000 publications par an en moyenne. Plus de 8500 personnes suivent ici une formation liée à l'océan. D'ailleurs, ça n'apparaîtra peut-être pas sur la traduction, mais je rappelle que l'université de Brest, l'université de Bretagne occidentale, est au classement de Shanghai, la 5e université mondiale dans le domaine de l'océanographie. Donc vraiment, dans ce qui nous concerne ici aujourd'hui, j'en profite pour le rajouter. Et ici, nous accueillons aussi les principaux sièges nationaux d'établissements liés à la mer, comme l'IFREMER, le service hydrographique de la marine, le CHAUM, le CEDRE, le pôle mer Bretagne-Atlantique, l'Institut de transition énergétique France Énergie Marine et France Cyber Maritime, destiné à travailler à la cybersécurité dans le domaine du monde maritime. Et ces organismes qui rayonnent à l'international sont regroupés au sein de ce que nous avons créé, que nous appelons le campus mondial de la mer, puisqu'on figure parmi les principales mondiales dans ces domaines. Parmi les actions que mène le campus mondial de la mer, il y a bien sûr Ocean Hackathon, qui nous réunit aujourd'hui et que nous organisons depuis 2016. Nous avons parcouru un long chemin pour nous retrouver aujourd'hui à Brest, ou en ligne pour certains, pour maintenant la grande finale de l'édition 2023. Alors pourquoi avons-nous imaginé Ocean Hackathon ? C'est à la fois pour répondre aux souhaits de nombreux acteurs qui collectent les données et mettent tout en œuvre pour qu'elles soient largement utilisées, comme vous le verrez pendant la Keynote proposée par IFREMER. Et puis ce territoire rassemble de nombreuses compétences dans le numérique et notamment dans le traitement des données. Et enfin, parce que nous voyons Ocean Hackathon comme une formidable occasion pour imaginer de nouveaux produits et services innovants en lien avec l'océan, dans le but de le préserver, bien sûr, mais aussi de le faire connaître. C'est là le sens et le rôle de la mission d'une technopole. Donc, Ocean Hackathon est coordonné par le campus mondial de la mer, mais il implique de nombreux partenaires que je souhaite saluer. Alors d'abord, les organisateurs des 14 éditions locales d'Ocean Hackathon dans le monde, nos partenaires qui fournissent des outils et des données, un élément essentiel pour relever les défis. Aussi, les ambassadeurs de cette édition 2023 qui nous permettent de faire connaître Ocean Hackathon en France et à l'étranger, et dont la contribution financière nous permet d'ailleurs de récompenser les équipes. Aussi, les porteurs de défis et les équipiers qui ont travaillé sans relâche du 17 au 19 novembre, je disais bien, mais aussi, bien sûr, l'équipe du campus mondial de la mer qui porte Ocean Hackathon à l'international et la Technopole qui a organisé l'édition de cette année à Brest au sein de l'école d'ingénieurs IMT Atlantique, Institut Mines Télécom Atlantique. Voilà, pour conclure, je souhaite à l'ensemble des 14 équipes de très bons pitch. Il est toujours difficile de présenter en quelques minutes un projet sur lequel on a travaillé de nombreuses heures, mais je suis sûr que vous en sortirez très bien. Et bon courage, et je vous remercie de votre attention. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much indeed, sir. So, without further ado, let the games begin. First of all, congratulations to all of you for making it this far. I would just like to remind you that at the outset of this long process, 139 challenges were submitted and 76 tackled by 600 participants across 7 countries. Today, you represent the finalists. So very well done, and a very warm welcome to Rimouski, Concepción, CapTown, Plymouth, Brest, Bournemouth, La Rochelle, Peniche, Boulogne-sur-Mer, Cherbourg, Toulon, Kuala Lumpur, and Nouméa. Sitting at the front here, we have the very important people. This is the judging panel. Don't annoy them, I suggest. Okay, there are 22 of them, all extremely important, and I would just like to welcome them all. For our 7 ambassadors from Sagamore, we have Michel Koska, we have Alexandre Lukowitz from Cluster Maritime Français. From Ifremer, we welcome Pierre Sarraud. From Mercator Ocean International, we have Fabrice Messal. From Oceanopolis, we have the representative Céline Liré, the Secrétaire d'État Charge de la Mer, Mintam Hua, and from CHOM, we have Didier Legac. In terms of our international partners, we have Linwood Pendleton, who I believe is online in our jury. And from the University of Massachusetts Amherst, we have Chatinya Rawa Kathala. For our advisors, Boulogne-sur-Mer is represented by Maëlle Montier, Bournemouth, Alistair Morrison. Thank you, that was quite easy to say. From Brest, Françoise Duprat, CapTown, Erlan Servo, Cherbourg, Samine Regidust, Concepción, Nayat Sanchez-P, Kuala Lumpur, Valerie Barbosa. You'll hear more from her later on. La Rochelle, Matthew Goddard, Nord de la Réunion, François Mallet, Peniche, Sergio Leandro, Plymouth, Rupert Lorraine. Sorry, your name's spelt wrong, by the way. Rimouski, we have Lias Lamrini. And finally, from Toulon, we have Charlotte Blotier. Okay? Okay, so this is for the teams, okay? This is vital information for when you speak. These are the pitch rules. I would just remind you all that the time limit for each pitch is 6 minutes. 6 minutes, okay? At the front, we have Anaël, who has a very large bell that will ring at the 6 minute point, okay? She can also do this after 5 minutes if you wish. Okay, that's very important. After your 6 minute pitch, we will then have 5 minutes in which you can take questions from the jury, okay, some of whom are obviously online, okay? The time limit is very important. You will be partially scored on your respect for that, okay? Also, when the judges sitting here come to score your pitch later, They will award 4 points for clarity of the pitch. They will also award 4 points for the strength which you used and demonstrated the data. They will also award 4 points for the clarity with which you identified the problem to be solved and how you presented your business model. Okay, very important. 4 points will also be given in accordance with the dynamism and originality of your pitch. 2 points, respect for the time limit, remember the bell, and 2 points for the involvement of the whole team in the project. Okay? Any questions about that? Okay, well, without further ado, we will move on and start. I believe we have Numia first. We welcome Numia, who I believe are online. So welcome to Numia.
These were the words of Tuvalu's minister for COP26 in 2021. We have all heard about climate change, more or less, but what is exactly the urgency? In what way will our environment be impacted? And how can we act to limit its impact? Hello. My name is Aline, and with my team, we've taken up the challenge to create an app that answers these questions. A 3D predictive model of sea level rise and a new tool to raise awareness on the effect of climate change on places people live and places people love. To create this app, we are a team of 5. Pierre-Olivier, nautical expert, Victor, 3D developer, Nicolas for the drone photogrammetry, Pierre-Loup, geomatics specialist, and myself, marine biologist and ocean advocate. Let me introduce you to See You Later. This app provides a 3D model of sea level rise on one of the most famous and visited islands in New Caledonia, the emblematic Amédée Island, a place I love. Our Pacific Islands are on the front line of climate change impacts and sea level rise issues, with the first climate refugees in the world. But all coastal areas will be impacted worldwide. Based on the drone image that you just seen and 960 others captured specifically for this project, we built this 3D interactive model. The technique used means that it can be reproduced easily on any coastal area or island. The projection we used regarding sea level rise are based on the latest IPCC report published. IPCC is the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, GIEC in French. So let's go into the application itself. Here you have different tabs that you can choose, and we will go into the predictions. We modeled 4 different scenarios from the IPCC, and today we chose to show you the extreme scenario. You have a tab where you can choose any year between now and 2100, and you have 3 different cameras to have 3 different views of the island. In this application, you also have content about climate change, its causes, its consequences, what are the issues, so a lot of sourced information. You also have information about IPCC, what it is, what it does, and information on how to act to limit climate change impact at the individual level. What is unique about this model? It combines modeling of a natural environment, predictive scenarios based on scientific data, an interactive interface, and sourced information content. The result is realistic, educational, and meaningful. Such model will allow to make this, which is the IPCC projection of sea level rise, look like this. To help improve public awareness and inform decision makers of the changes underway. It is a real public utility project and a call to action. In the future, including other risk factors such as erosion and extreme weather events, could make this model a real decision-making tool. LiDAR technology as an alternative to drone images should also be considered. In terms of business plan, institutional orders on specific areas could finance the modeling of new sites. International programs are also available to help fund projects related to climate change and ecological transition. What is the next step for us? We need finances to finalize the prototype, detail our model, create the interactive interface, and work on the lighter version for phones and tablets. Our intent is then to market our services to 3D model any other site of interest around the world, which can then be made available to the general public and integrated into school programs. Because by 2050, rising oceans due to climate change could threaten coastal areas home to 300 million people, including mine, including yours. To address climate change, solutions exist, and I hope we can count on your support for this project. Please visit our website for more information. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. We could now maybe take a couple of questions from the jury. Are there any questions, please? Here we are, sir, from Bournemouth.
Hi, thanks for the pitch. What is the behaviour that you're trying to change by using this? I think it's a great app and a great technology, but what is the specific behaviour that you're trying to get people to change?
I think it's more of a matter of making people conscious of the changes which are going to happen into this world, into coastal areas. Then regarding changes, it's relevant to any individual people, what they choose to do. So there's a panel of different actions on different topics within the application. But it's just first a matter of raising awareness of the changes underway.
Thank you.
Okay, just before we take any more questions, Concepción, you're up next, so please start getting ready. Okay, any more questions from the jury, please?
Thanks for your pitch. I just wanted to know how much time it took for modeling one site and how much time it will take for modeling new sites.
It took us 48 hours, which is the time of the Ocean Hackathon, to work on the Amédée Island site. The idea for other sites would be to have an automatic chain of treatment of the images, to have something that can be run easily with any drone images.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much indeed to Numia. Well done, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so next up we have Concepción. Okay, Concepción.
We are from Chile. Not the pepper, but a country in South America with desert, forest, glaciers, and good wine, as well as yours. Chile is the stepping stone to the white continent, Antarctica, a unique place with majestic fauna and the biggest freshwater reservoir in the world. Since the beginning of the last century, Antarctica has been exploited. Unregulated fishing and hunting was rampant, and for some species, didn't end very well. Today, Antarctica's most extracted resource is a tiny crustacean that's vital to all wildlife. It feeds on microalgae, and it's the main food source of a big variety of Antarctic animals. Can you guess what it is? Yeah, you get it right, it's krill. It is called due to its high protein and omega-3 content. Also, its use is as food in fisheries and in pharmaceutical industries. Also plays a vital role in the environment through different ecosystem services, such as carbon sink, helping store 5 to 12 gigatons of CO2 each year. Even if science knows a lot about krill, there is more to be uncovered. In words of a krill expert, after 100 years of krill research, we are still a long way to understanding where krill lives. This knowledge is vital for management and conservation in Antarctica. Krill fisheries. Since the 70s, krill was caught all over Antarctica, but in the last decade, it's focused in the Antarctic Peninsula, a crucial breeding place not only for krill, but a whole diversity of Antarctic animals. Along this, Simon Hill, another member of the SCAR Krill Expert Group, told us that identifying safe alternative fishing grounds is a great way to help reduce fishing in predator foraging areas. Although measures have been put in place to prevent overexploitation, these are not enough due to lack of information about this organism. This, along with climate change, focused fishing, and the sea ice retreat could together provoke an ecosystem collapse. Faced with this hopeless scenario, we decided to do something and provide a solution. License to krill. Yes. We developed an innovative krill prediction system that will allow our users high-resolution data about the abundance and distribution of krill in the Antarctic Peninsula, providing alternative fishing grounds, allowing redistributing the fishes focused in the Bransfield Strait, where 70% of all Antarctic krill fishing is done. This will allow redistributing the krill fisheries and protecting the ecosystem. Our product is a software that allows our users to easily access the information about the location and quantity of krill, also providing information about environmental variables, such as sea surface salinity and the temperature. This information will be provided with guidelines to a correct use. Additionally, it will visualize protected zone, voluntary restricted zone from the industries, and potential new management areas and protected zone based on breeding sites. This sounds pretty cool, but how do we do this? Well, this work stems from a preliminary review of variables associated with krill and its environment. After that, variables were selected and downloaded from different data providers, which were processed together. Then our team started working on different artificial intelligence models, which we use along with climate simulation to forecast abundance and distribution of krill. In parallel, we developed the prototype of our visualization platform, which you have already seen. But what sets us apart from our competitors? The high resolution of the abundance and geolocation of data, and the low cost of implementing our solution in both time and money. License to krill will reach our diverse client in the form of software as a service, allowing access to investing of government and research centers, and a global market exceeding $1.6 billion. License to krill offers continuous improvement through incorporating new variables, improving the time resolution, increasing the area to analyze, and improving the user interface, allowing our users easily access to the information. We are currently establishing links and network with various key players in the field, such as research centers, universities, and the industry. At the same time, we will collaborate with science and government institutions to access financing that will allow us to enhance our models. At this moment, krill is being extracted with limited information in a critical zone. We can let it happen or make a change on this. It's imperative to protect the Antarctic wildlife through ecosystem-based management and sustainable krill fishing. We think this is possible because we are licensed to krill. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much indeed, Licensed to Krill. Are there any questions from the jury, please? Once again,
I invite my team to accompany me, so we can answer together the questions of the jury.
Any questions?
Thank you.
From the jury? Okay, here we are, sir.
Congrats for the pitch. It was great. One particular question: you use any growth model for the krill the growth model for the krill?
The what model?
The growth rate or something like that?
Yes, we also use data from krill abundance that has been measured, like physically, empirically measured. But the problem with that is that it's only in certain areas, and so we want to enhance that information. But we use that to train our models, yes.
Yes, we use the krill-based data. That is a recompilation of all the information that we have of scientific research from the beginning of the last century. The same Angus Atkinson that we mentioned is the principal author of that paper. So yes.
Thank you.
Another question?
Okay. Okay. Yes.
Thanks for your pitch. By displaying the area where the krill is the most important, don't you think there is a risk that this will extend the fisheries of the krill?
Yeah, we think about that a lot because it's possible. Yeah, you get it right. That's why we are, let me show you the demo. That's the reason we included the potential protected area, so we can give information about these areas that need to be protected and don't give like the permission to the industries to extract where the critical zones are. Also, as we have the information, we will filter the information in the potential zones that is crucial to protect, only giving information away from the endangered zone, protecting the environment and the species that live there.
And there are also already existing limits to the fishing quotas in the Antarctic Peninsula. And what we want to do is that, given that quota, not have all the fisheries be centered in one area, but instead for them to diversify their fishing. So there's already a cap on the quota for each fishery.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Concepción. Okay, so next up now we have our home team of Brest. We have Brest. I'll move out the way.
What a beautiful beach with a blue water. Let's dive.
Sorry, but the beach is closed.
What? Why?
First of all, let's talk about switch systems. How does it work? Wastewater is sent from homes to the network of pumping stations, which pump the water towards treatment plants to be purified.
Pumping stations are high-tech equipment. They are equipped with many sensors which provide a lot of data.
So, Milan, that being said, the switch systems works well when the weather is nice. But wet in rain?
Rainwater soaks into the ground. Then it seeps to cracks in the network and infiltrate into the switch systems. This is what we call parasitic water.
Moreover, when it's rain, groundwater rise and flood the switch system.
At pumping stations, wastewaters and parasitic waters mixed, which causes an hydraulic overload, and the waters overflows into the environment.
And since the switch systems is gravity-based, pumping stations are placed at lower points, closer to the sea level. So, if there is an overflow, wastewater goes into natural environment and basin areas.
The problem of sewage pollution is not confined to beaches. It's a global issue. Nitrogen for human wastewater affects around 58% of the world coral reefs and 88% of seagrass beds. How can we ensure the quality of coastal waters using our extensive data to establish preventive management for wastewater networks? What data do we have? A large amount of data from sensors from CCPI, rainfall from Météo France, and groundwater level from BRGM. A long period of data a long data coverage as well, 6 years in total, with very high frequency, a lot of data per hours.
What tool did we use? First of all, data from sensor feed a Postgres database. Then we employed SQL to clean and prepare the dataset and use EDA tools to visualize it. Finally, we handle machine learning tools such as scikit-learn. How did we proceed? The first step was to define a sensor management policies, such as what kind of sensor in each pumping stations, which data to archive, and which monitoring tools to be set. But we had a surprise. The data revealed no apparent correlation between rainfall and overflows. That was quite amazing. However, looking closer, we found two clear patterns. Winter overflow results from long periods with heavy rains, submerging pipes due to rising groundwater. Summer overflows are quicker, smaller, and shorter. They occur after a rain shower following a dry spell. They have more impact on bathing waters. So what did we achieve? Based on this, we developed a model that can predict overflows using previous rainfall, weather forecasts, and groundwater level. This model is highly reliable. Both precision and recall are over 95%.
As far as the use of the tools is concerned, there is a need for investment equipment per station, around 6,500 per pumping station to install the sensor. There are development with data repatriation and data reliability. There is human management with the maintenance of the sensors and the checking of the data sent back. Overall, these investments allows optimization on several levels, better management of the equipment with a longer lifetime, possible control of treatment costs with flow management, and to finish, better knowledge of your installations and how the system works, with the aim of optimizing and implementing consistent asset management of the installations. That means storage tanks, additional automatic system. This investments also has many other benefits as less pollution of the natural environment and therefore better bathing water quality, or lower water and energy costs as a result of optimizations, and to finish, a better image for the region with less pollution and more open beaches.
Thank you everyone for listening. I will now present you the team. We are from Brest. So Thibaut here is a geomatician.
Pierre, a data analyst.
Olivier is also a data analyst.
Pauline, a water expert.
Pauline is environment expert.
And Milan, a geomatician.
Thank you everyone.
Okay, we'll now take some questions. Thank you, Brest. Are there any questions online that we could start with, maybe? Any questions from online? Yeah. No? No. Okay, no questions from online. Okay, so, oh, there is. Is it in the chat? I can't see. Okay, I can't actually read the chat, so, okay, yeah. Is there no question online? Okay, we'll start with a question from the jury here first then. Does anybody here have any questions, please?
So the question is, what strategies are employed in your project to ensure the accuracy and reliability of overflow prediction using machine learning tools? So we use random forest algorithm for the machine learning, and we use some tools that is available in Python to verify the accuracy. It's a classification models, so we verify some analysis that is on the model of classification, like the reliability, and we ended with a result of 95% reliable.
And to get this result, we also cleaned the data before using the machine learning model, so to make our data more viable.
It's a big work when we have to do machine learning tools. It's to clean the data and prepare it. It's the biggest of the work. After that, train the model is easy compared to take the data and clean it for the machine learning.
But that works on real data from a real network. So.
Okay, we have probably have time for one more question from the jury at the front here. Any questions, please? Thank you.
Okay, you talked about investment. Do you have an idea of the amount required for, for the installation of? You talked about sensors and so on. So.
Yes. So on average, the investments required to a pumping station is about 7,000 euros for pumping stations. So in global, to make into a region like Pays d'Ivoire, you have to invest 1 million euros to make sure that the sensors are correct and the data is good, okay, to prevent the overflows.
Okay, thank you for the answer.
Okay, thank you very much indeed, Brest. Thank you. Okay, we will now have a video medley to watch, a brief video medley that was taken of all the cities that are participating today. So sit back and enjoy the video medley, please. Okay, thank you very much indeed for that video medley. That now brings us comfortably to our second series of pitches. So next up, from just across the English Channel, we have Plymouth. Welcome to Plymouth.
Just connected.
It's loading, the Wi-Fi is.
So unfortunately we've got a short presentation.
Yeah.
Cool.
Need to share the screen, right?
It's not on the screen.
I think they have to show.
Screen is loading.
Oh. A picture paints 1,000 words. Coast Track reveals 1,000 insights to turn images into data for sustainable coastal management. Wales has a coastline under threat, much like the rest of the UK and further afield. 86,000 homes are at risk of flooding and erosion. And this is because 60% of the population live along the 1,800 kilometers of coastline, but only 209 kilometers have coastal defenses. And this puts coastal resilience at risk. Coastal resilience is the idea that ecosystems and communities can withstand and adapt to disruption, for example, from climate-driven storm events. Practically, this means managing the coastline in a way that works for everyone. We propose to use clear, versatile data to forecast erosion risk, informing evidence-based coastal management. We've spoken to coastal managers and practitioners, including staff of local councils, regional areas, and national governments, as well as staff in the private sector, whose organizations have coastal management responsibilities, and this could include beachfront cafes, housing developers, and insurers. We've also spoken to individuals who own private properties, live in communities, or just visit. And they need tailored, easily accessible erosion risk forecast data. They need this in visual, easy to understand syntheses, and they need this information at a level of detail which is proportionate to their management responsibilities.
Chloe, I've just had a notification on my Coast Track app. Please, could you explain what I'm seeing here? Could you help me to understand what I'm seeing here?
I can. You are seeing your Coast Track dashboard. So this map is showing you where you have data collection sites and where there are alerts in place.
Okay, so it looks like I should investigate what's going on in South Wales.
I agree. You can dig into each of these locations for recommended immediate actions to take.
Excellent.
It will also provide you with information such as when the risk is, the severity of the risk, and the likelihood of recovery after a storm event.
Wow, okay, so this really could revolutionize the way that coastal monitoring is done.
It could.
We have used CoastSnap data through existing collaborations. So CoastSnap data is photographic imagery collected by members of the public or citizen scientists at specific standard vantage points across different Welsh coastlines. We've also used hindcast data from the European Centre for Medium Range Weather Forecasting, as well as data from the WaveRider buoy network of the Southwest Coastal Monitoring Centre. Using artificial intelligence, we are able to extract data from the images and provide short-term erosion risk forecasting at the data collection sites. And this is visualized through the dashboard that you've just seen. Citizen scientists are integral to the work that we're doing. And so in addition to the dashboard, we also provide education and engagement opportunities for those citizen scientists that we rely on. And this also includes data training opportunities. Our cost-effective, high frequency of data service also diversifies the market. So it complements the very expensive offerings that our competitors have. Tackling coastal threat takes collective action, and this is only going to grow with increasing climate uncertainty. So we've already spoken to customers and collaborators who've highlighted the immediately available funding streams we have for Coast Track. Our services also highlight the interconnectedness of people and planet, as well as the global potential for the application of Coast Track. Our customers save money with frequent, easy-to-understand data. The community is empowered to take ownership over their coastal zone by being citizen scientists and engaged in the process more broadly. And environmentally, Coast Track supports the creation and implementation of solutions which work with nature instead of against. We're all tied to the coasts, our team in particular. We all either live by the coast, work by the coast, or do our hobbies at the coast. And we have a vision for resilient coastal communities. We achieve this by combining our expertise in data science and programming, coastal management, and community engagement, and we'd love for you to join us. We have ambitions to grow our prototype to other geographic regions and a diversity of customers. And we need citizen scientists and coastal managers alike to help us expand our baseline data, as well as tailor our outputs to a breadth of need cases. Can you help us build this network? Thank you. And I'm joined by the rest of my team for questions.
Okay, first of all, I think we have a question online just here.
Is it easiest if I check that here?
I think I saw a question pop up then in the chat pod.
Yeah, so this question is, I'm curious in terms of what methods are used to ensure the accuracy of public submitted images for quantifying and forecasting erosion risk. And I'll maybe hand that over to you, Sam.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So with the images, the public take images at selectively designated points. So we predefine the location of that image. They also go through quite a complex screening process that eliminates images that don't fit with what we're expecting in terms of fixed points and others. I won't go into too much detail. I'm sure I could talk for hours about this. I'll probably jump to question 2. So how do we plan to balance the need for public? I reckon that's probably one for Chloe.
Yeah. So question 2 is, how do you plan to balance the need for public participation with the technical expertise required for interpreting coastal erosion data, which is a great question. We've seen in the existing CoastSnap sites that people are more than willing to take images. So we know that with additional education and engagement opportunities, that density of data will only grow, and we often see that there are local heroes, so individuals who go out and are more than happy to take a picture when they go for their daily dog walk, for example. And coastal managers are often within councils, so they have staff on the ground in these sites doing other jobs. So where we maybe have lower density data, we're able to collect more of that data. And balancing that with the technical expertise. So obviously our prototype is kind of a full service. So our team provides that technical expertise, and the hope is that through training opportunities for citizen scientists, they can get more involved, but they're always backed by a technical team.
Okay, we maybe have time for one quick, brief question from the front row, if there are any from our panel here. Okay, no. Okay then, thank you very much indeed, Plymouth. And next we have Boulogne-sur-Mer. Boulogne-sur-Mer, welcome. Blimey.
Okay, first, a question. Is that dirty like that at home? No. So why do we accept that the ocean are in that state, right? We started our journey at Boulogne-sur-Mer, the first French fishing harbor. You have to know that 25% of the waste in the ocean are from the fishing industry. Moreover, there is climate change, rise of temperatures, or microplastic pollution in the ocean. They all put a massive pressure on the hydro system, the one who allows us to breathe. We believe in the power of community. And with that mindset, we've worked to create an innovative concept and turn it into a mobile application that connects easily actors who want to act for the good of the oceans. We're proud to present you Aqua. Aqua, it's us, but it's nothing without you. Light off. My cost. But this is our ocean. They were here long before us, and they will stay the same for centuries after us. Let's not destroy them in a lifetime.
Welcome to the Aqua app, your gateway to a world of environmental engagement. To get started, simply create an account and unlock a realm of benefits and effort participation. At Aqua, we have adopted a swipe-based interface to immerse users in reality from the get-go. Our aim? To keep you informed about all of the environmental events happening around you. You're a natural protector? Curious about econ conferences or someone who just like observing wildlife? We've got something for everyone. Our vision is to inspire interest and engagement. To feel this passion, we empower everyone to create their own events. Are you a bird lover? Host a casual bird watching session by creating an event on Aqua. Navigate through an interactive map showing all nearby events and their details. Witness the Aqua's community impact with a weekly depollution time-lapse. Meet the Aquadex, designed to awaken the collector within you, accumulate various fauna and flora, and stay updated on the status of different species. We believe knowledge breeds respect. To encourage learning, answer daily quizzes and expand your Aquadex collection. We've incorporated a specialized API for comprehensive access to oceanic flora and fauna data, ensuring that the information we provide is scientifically sound and secure. Engage more, learn more, and earn more. Your participation in events or the growth of your Aquadex will reward you with experience, levels, and Aqua coins. Redeem your Aqua coins for exclusive bonuses, like discount in favorite markets or branded merchandise from us and our partners. Join us on Aqua, where every action counts toward a greener and a more connected world.
Thank you for the technical part.
I think Tom's calling, guys.
Hello, Tom.
Hi everyone. As you can see, Aqua helps to protect the ocean, but Aqua is also committed to complying with the General Data Protection Regulation in order to protect your personal data and ensure transparency in data processing. For example, when an association creates an account, We collect information such as the RNA number or official association document in order to verify the authenticity of the association information with the CSV register or through the API enterprise delivered by the government. Another example of data processing, Aqua will be able to create a list of users and access to their position when they take part in an event. This will help Aqua to quantify the impact of Aqua community on the environment and, with this data, enable us to raise funds more easily from local and global authorities. All this information about users' personal data and data processing will be available in the General Condition of Use section with the registers, and their data processing will be only implemented after the user consent. I'll let Vincent present the business plan.
Thanks, Tom. So there are three different actors. So we have a users, association, and public institution. So we prioritize teenagers to warn them about environment situation. For the users, we want to motivate those who want to make some concrete action for the environment. And for association, we want to increase their subscriber number and make some advertising. Our financial plan is to make a project, autonomous project, and viable project. So the most important is the communication. So donation, crowdfunding, advertising will be used to host our application servers. So what about future project? So we plan to create many meetings about environment subject and probably make some partnership with companies.
Okay, are there any questions for the team, please? Any questions at all? We'll start with the jury, the front row this time. I think the lady in the corner, if you could give her a microphone. Thank you very much indeed.
Hi, thank you very much for that presentation. I was just curious to know, how are you planning to kind of get it started? Like, how are you going to get your initial users and then expand that user base? Because that's the most difficult part, right?
Okay, so I am in charge of the commercial part, and I'm well aware of how the system works because I'm a student in environmental process, if I can say that, risk and environment. So our plan is to start with every city, every council we have on our territory, to knock at every door, let them know that there is a project, that we are here, we need help because they know things we don't, and we are open to work with each, prioritize the city who have coastline because it's them in the front row, but also all the cities who has had river pollution because in our opinion, people far from the sea are struggling to understand that every trash they throw in the street will end up sooner or later in the sea. So first of all, knock at every door possible and let them know about the project. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, do we have any questions online, maybe? Okay, not that I can see. There's a gentleman here who would like to ask a question. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Alexandre Moscovitch for the French Maritime Cluster. Can you please clarify your business plan? Because I would like to know what is the kind of difference between premium account, free account, and also the part of advertising. Thank you.
So about the premium account, we really plan to just make a premium account for associations, but it's only in the long-term question. In short term, we wanted to just to know the application, so that's why the communication will be very important, because if we have a big community, we can have access to make a premium account.
Yeah. If I may, we will be struggling to sell the service if we don't have a lot of users. So we may make a launch price, But the thing is, if you don't have a premium account, you will have to pay for each event you post on the application. The premium account will help association or cities to be in touch with us and to let us all the communication thing, because we know that it's not people who are launching association, clean walkers or everything doesn't have necessarily the time to answer everyone, let them know where, when, how, what do you want to take. This is our part. So if they want to put event after event, they can, but if they want to have the full package following and partnership with us, they can pay the premium account and use our full services.
You talk about advertising, right? Can I answer this question for you? The advertising, we are in the politics to not have advertising and almost advertising and block advertising. We let the user just see the advertising. Just for an example, imagine Biocop pay for just an ad in our application. It's 1 to 10 for the ad in a swipe. The user can't be blocked by the application, by the advertising, and just boring for him. So just a little advertise, just for this.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. If we could make this the last one.
Yeah, sorry. It's again regarding advertising. Do you have any ethical position or policies regarding advertising?
Yes, our strong values are education,
awareness,
yes, and community. The heart of our project is bring people together and let them know that they're not alone. Associations are not alone. There is people who want to act for the good, but associations are struggling to find them, and people are struggling to find the right information. Myself, I'm a student in risk and environment, and I'm struggling to find a clean walk or a conference. I have to multiply the channel, the communication channel, to find the answers. So that's our values, to create a community and together walk through this project, if I can say.
Okay, thanks very much. We could wrap that up there. Thank you. And next we have Kuala Lumpur. Kuala Lumpur, welcome. I'll just say that after Kuala Lumpur, we will have a short break of about 15 minutes, okay? So this is the last pitch for this session, and then afterwards we'll have a 15-minute comfort break. Thank you.
Bonjour. Good evening, everyone. We are Team Nemo from Malaysia. Now, I want to bring you guys to Malaysia for a short little while. So, this is Malaysia, all the way over here. Let's visit the beautiful ocean of Malaysia. But upon arriving there, this is what you see. You're supposed to see this, but then you see this and this. And then you see the news. Weird sea color, fish dying, and then you see many warnings not to eat the shellfish, some losing their livelihood, some losing their lives. A big problem not only in Malaysia, France, but all around the world. So, what is happening? This is harmful algae bloom. When a phenomenon whereby certain types of algae grows out of control, causing huge marine disruption and a lot of effects that you saw just now, and many more problems. And the worst part, most of the public aren't aware of this. But even if you do, how do you truly know whether the waters around you are truly safe? With that, we created iHab, the Malaysian Marine HAB platform, a web app that allows you to keep up to date with the latest information about harmful algae bloom. So what exactly it is? So we have 4 main features, which are first, prediction analysis, alert system, observation deck, data catalog. So imagine going to Malaysia, you want to visit the beach. But before that, open iHab, take a look at our interactive map. You have all these different seasides with different color. What does it mean? Green for safe, yellow, medium risk, red, high risk. And then let's click on one of the seaside. You click onto it and you see this and this. So it tells you exactly what it means. So what is this? It tells you what you should do and the next day forecast and other safe beach. Should you need more advanced descriptions, more advanced information, we got you covered with our advanced statistics. Use all our prediction analysis to make better informed decisions. It's even more important for the frontliners of the ocean, such as the fishermen, aquaculture farmers, as well as the tourism industry. With that, we also have the alert system. So what it does, basically you subscribe to our alert system via SMS, email, or API. Let us help you keep you up to date with the latest event on HAB so that you don't have to constantly check the web app as well. With that, let's say you're a citizen, let's say you're around the beach and you see weird sea color and then weird fish are dying. Go observation deck, click on it, take a picture, tag your location, and submit it to us. We will use our vision system, which will then analyze, and if there is HAB, let us inform you guys. And of course, all of those data prediction analysis, all in one place, data catalog. So if you're a marine research, or you just want to do your own research, data catalog, tap into our resource for free, open access. Now, we keep talking about data predictions analysis. So what exactly are we doing and how? First of all, we get our data source, these open data source, using the key indicator that tell us what exactly is HAB over here, feed it into our prediction model called LSTM, long short-term memory, which then tells us the concentration of harmful algae bloom as well as the severity in that area. And we are very proud of our prediction model. As you can see, this and over here, you can see that we have low error, and based on our research and testing, we have much better accuracy compared to other research that are doing prediction model out there. So there are a lot of tools on HAB as well, definitely. But what's the problem with it? Sustainability. We are very serious about this. Therefore, we are partnering and collaborating with our local authority, the governments, and all the local government staff. This means, for example, the Department of Fisheries in Malaysia. And of course, we are collaborating with our customers, with our private companies, as well as NGO and marine projects. All of this, we want to get up and running and help us adopt and bring more of our app such that more people can use. And of course, all this data, everything free access. However, should you need more consultancy, and if you're commercializing your project, you will then have to pay us for us to make better service to give it back to the public. And back in Malaysia, we have our own team of research teams over here, as you can see, which help us to constantly improve our prediction model with the latest research. And let's not forget the volunteer program. We'll bring the science to the citizen. This means helping us with the data collection and data validation. For example, collecting water samples in areas and then taking pictures of the sea. And most importantly, raising awareness about HAB. That's why we have roadmap as well. What is in store for us is, in Q1, improving analysis. Q2, expanding our data collections via the volunteer program. And Q3, expanding our partners' network and reach through organizations within and outside of Malaysia. And with iHab, we hope, Team Nemo, hope that all of us can have a better and safer ocean for all! Thank you.
Oh, thank you very, very much for that. Maybe we'll start with any questions in the front row here, please. Anybody have any questions from our jury here? Okay, gentleman there.
Hi, thanks for the presentation. Just a clarification, if a volunteer is sending you an image, are they expecting to get a result from you in real time, or do they submit it and then over time you analyze it?
So it's not exactly real time because we also have to check and also we have to validate. So it's not exactly real time. But then we have the alert system that once it's validated, we want to make sure it's accurate, then we will alert you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, we have a question in the chat pod. I don't know if you can access that on your computer over there, maybe. If you could just read us the question, sir,
Right.
please.
How does your predictive tool handle the variability in historical data and environmental conditions for forecasting harmful algae blooms?
Can you move the slide? All right, so for our data, we collected like the years or half years. So this is like long-term historical data. So we can learn from that. And it is one of our trusted. So for second that, we use these kinds of data, time series, and learn from the pattern learning to identify the correlation between this historic data and current variable to make a great prediction. So I think that in our model and within like further modification in the future, we can make a better results.
Any more questions? Okay, I believe, thank you. Okay, we have one more. We just take one more from online, please. So what would be the profile of your early paying adopters, please?
Let me just read the question once again. Give me a moment. What will be the profile of your early paying adopters? So first of all, our early paying adopters will definitely be the departments of fishery, like let's say for example, and organizations that are very, very, very involved with the marine. For example, we have like the Sime Darby in Malaysia that also does marine consultancy. All these are very important resource, important knowledge for them to help in doing their marine consultancy as well. And definitely the tourism, so for example, the hotel as well, they are one of our early adopters.
Okay, thank you very much indeed, Kuala Lumpur.
Thank you, Rusi.
Okay, that concludes our second series of pitches. Please now avail yourself of a 15-minute break. 15 minutes, okay, comfort break. Thank you very much indeed.
Software engineer. En plus, j'ai bu du café, d'habitude, je ne bois pas de café. Du coup, bah, ça est arrivé, genre, juste avant que je prenne l'avion, puis il a comme disparu déjà.
Okay, well, I hope you all enjoyed your comfort break. That brings us comfortably now to our third series of pitches. And with that in mind, I bring you Rimouski. Welcome, Rimouski.
Bonjour, hi. I'm Gwen, project manager at Mission Ghost Gear, and I worked with Leandre, who's a software engineer, and with Valentin, who's still in Canada, and he's a data scientist. So they say one can't make an omelette without breaking eggs, but can we still eat seafood without hurting whales? How can we make fishing greener and less impacting for the environment? With a commitment to care for endangered species, projects to combat ghost fishing in the east coast of Canada are gaining momentum. But what is ghost fishing? Well, it refers to lost fishing gear floating or littering the seafloor that continues to fish years after being lost. It's a real issue. In the North Atlantic, 80% of right whales, like this one, have been entangled at least once in their lives. And tens of thousands of lobster traps litter the seafloor. Furthermore, 90% of the species that are captured by ghost gear are commercial fishes, so it does impact also the fisheries. In Canada, research centres and government are joining forces with fishermen to recover and safely dispose of ghost gear. But currently, there's no simple tool to prioritize area for action, and this is why we developed Mission Ghost Gear to facilitate the planning of recovery missions and coordinate the big cleanup. It is a tool that is both comprehensive, accessible, and easy to use. The mission is to assist the recovery effort with a useful visualization tool based on the data provided by fishermen about their lost gear and by Marine Mammal Conservation Program about endangered species observation and scored based on their degree of threat. So the algorithm behind our application is, as I said, data collected from fishermen and spatial data. So the simple formula is lost gear minus recovered gear multiplied by the endangered species and score associated with the degree of threat. And then we get a priority score that we use in the web application. So we developed this for Quebec and for the Gulf of St. Lawrence, as you'll see. And the potential clients are all the stakeholders of the fishing industry, but also local conservation authorities like the ZIP and Fishery and Ocean Canada Ministry. And also Merinov, which is a research center behind Ghost Fishing Action Initiative, which is a project for a large-scale underwater cleanup. So this is an operation of recovery of ghost gear. And our tool is there to help the collaboration between researchers and fishermen and to enhance the recovery missions. So, for example, I want to plan a recovery mission. I go on the website, and there I'll get a map. No, did you click on view? No. Yes. Okay, sorry. So you get the map, and on the map you can see that there are squares. So the color of the square is the indication of the degree of priority. You also have like a bathymetry. So the bathymetry behind can tell you where are the shoaler zone and where you can go for your mission if you can only reach like 100-meter depth, for example. So you zoom in, and then you have all those squares. A square is a 7.5 kilometer square, which represent a day of work for recovery missions. And so when you click on it, you get a score. You get the number of lost engine. Here it's 17. And then also the species that were spotted on that place. So you also get the depth and the coordinates, which are just under this little place. So you can plan your mission very easily without having like all the data to put together. You just have one tool, and then you can plan your mission. So, so there's a lot of potential development for this project. We would like to facilitate data entry by fishermen, because now it's a long and complicated process for them to declare when they lose their gear. So we would add like the entries directly in the application and transmit it to the Ministry of Fisheries and Ocean. We would also like to extend the observation data, and there are some citizen science projects in the Gulf of St. Lawrence for identification of species, and we would work with Marine Mammal Conservation Program to get like more data. We would also like to enhance the risk prediction, so by integrating data from ship routes and also bottom currents and fishing zones. And a dream would be also to add opportunistic sonar data. So that would imply developing data for boaters, sonar for boaters. And then we could locate more fishing gear with also a citizenship science part. At Mission Ghost Gear, we keep this quote in mind from Jane Goodall. Because we do have hope, and nature is enormously resilient. Humans are vastly intelligent. The energy and enthusiasm that can be kindled among young people like today seems without limit, and that's it.
Thank you very much indeed. Do we have any questions, maybe first online, please, in the chat pod?
No question in the chat.
Okay, does anybody here in the front row have a question, please? Would anybody like to ask the guys from Rimouski anything? Okay, we have a question in the front row. Here we are, sir. Ask away.
Thanks for your presentation. Can you please describe who will be the main users of your application, and how they will recover the lost gears?
Yeah, tu peux revenir sur client potentiel. So the main user would be Merinov, which is a research center, who are actually doing already recovery of lost gear in the Gulf. There is so the picture here is a mission of recovery, and some recoveries are made by fishermen also. And when Merinov does the recoveries, they actually give back the fishing gear to the fishermen. So that also enhances like the probability that they will participate in this kind of initiative. And so for now, Merinov is really the one who's picking up those gear, in Quebec at least. And they usually take like all the data, and they have to take a day to get like all the information that they can just get with the website right now.
And if I can add, the efforts to recover the gear are organized by the government Canada. So there's a lot of investment for the recovery missions. And at the moment, the better people to actually go on the sea and bring back the gear are the fishermen.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, we have a question here at the end.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Same question as the previous one. Can you please specify your business case and how you can grow up worldwide?
So for like the business plan, it's for now the app was really developed for like the specific utilization of Mérinov. How it can be extended, it would depend on like government of other countries, how much they want to imply, because it's like open data and then open, there's no, the idea wouldn't be to associate a cost with the using of the application, because you want like to clean the ocean the fastest. So it won't be, it would be like investment from government or research centers. And yeah, and also you would have the, as we said, we give back, they give back the fishing gears to the fishermen, so it like enhance the probability that they would work.
We will not be a for-profit organization. In Canada, there are $1 million subventions for recovering the gear, so part of this money goes to people like us that helps the process.
Okay, thank you very much indeed, Rimouski. Thank you. And next up, we have Peniche. Welcome to Peniche.
Hello.
It's definitely working.
It's working, that was just test.
Senores and senoras, mesdames et messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, hello. We are Galin Pathways representing Peniche. SDG 14, Life Below Water, is currently receiving less than 1% of impact funds, which represents $149 billion yearly gap to fill in order to hope to reach this target. However, the market is growing with the UN implementing regulation, and for example, the blue economy worth 1.5 trillion in 2021, or the biodiversity offset and credits markets predicted to reach 160 billion by 2030. Conservation of degrading ecosystems is lagging behind because of the lack of a common framework, resulting in the loss, in a loss of $6 to $24 billion a year in the EU alone. So how do we maximize the impact of every euro invested in conservation? At Galin Pathways, we identify and forecast areas of climate risk in coastal marine ecosystems and quantify ecosystem services, which are the benefits that humans derive from ecosystem marine ecosystems. Why is it important to adequately evaluate these ecosystem services? Well, because, for example, if we look at fish and other seafood products, they supply an income for 10 to 12% of the world's population. Mangroves, for example, store 5 times more carbon than a similar area in the forest. Overall, the total value of services provided by marine and coastal ecosystems represent $29.5 trillion a year. So why let these resources be depleted when we could exploit them sustainably? We are a SaaS solution for all maritime stakeholders, aligning perspective to enhance coordination and collaboration, starting with NGOs, because they are at the forefront of conservation. They have technical and financial limitations. However, they employ and help local people and communities. They have huge amounts of unexploited historical data. They have local knowledge and scientific expertise and equipment and training for monitoring. We would help them better allocate their resources, identify new target areas, make better guided decisions, and evaluate the impact in terms of ecosystem services. By analyzing and forecasting on a local and on a global scale, we are the most complete solution on the market for NGOs, but not only. And this is where the real economic value of our software comes into play. For example, by providing insurance companies with tools for better risk or impact assessments, we can provide maritime investors with feasibility tools and better feasibility projects. We can connect small underfunded NGOs with environmental benefactor businesses by providing these with transparency on the impact of their investments. Or we can help marine municipalities in marine spatial planning, ensuring long-term food security and better conditions for tourism.
So a few notes on tech. So we overlaid the human activities data along with the physical, the chemical and biological parameters on satellite data that we gathered on the Copernicus program. And we used the data from 2008 and 2020 to train a temporal convolutional network, and the data on 2021 as a test data for a 6 months horizon forecast. And the error that we achieved was between the 2 and 11%. So we can see a few scenarios where you can apply our software, which is live and thanks to Tobias. So in the first case, we're going to see a conservation organization and side by side with a business that wants to offset the carbon emissions. And the second one is the case of a municipality. So on the first, we can see that I'm a conservation organization and I'm mainly interested in seagrass. So I work on a small-scale project and my first aim is monitoring for impact assessment. So I know that temperature is one of the main variables that influence how the seagrass is healthy and its distribution. So here I can see where the values are ideal for seagrass and where are not ideal for seagrass, and here where they are actually ideal. And also I can see how these values are going to change historically and for the forecast that is the output of our model, so on the 6 months. Also, I want to see how the suitability of the niche is going to change over time and how it's been into the past. So the overall condition considering the biological, the physical, and the chemical. And again, here we can see the suitability map from the most to the least. And also we can evaluate the ecosystem services. So this value of the carbon sequestration, for example, is going to change as we change the time because it's influenced by the condition and the health of the seagrass itself. So as a business that want to invest in for carbon sequestration, this gives me a clear impact of where my money goes and a clear transparency of what is happening in my area of interest. Now, the second case, I'm a municipality, so I'm working with a lot of stakeholders, and I want to make sure that they keep acting in the marine space of my competence. But I also want that the conservation of ecosystem is at the center of the maritime spatial planning. So in this case, I can visualize the distribution of kelp and seagrass, for example, but I can also overlap it for example, the port's location that here you can see, or marine protected areas, for example, that are already in place, and also for the trawlers' activities, or fishermen activities. At the same time, I can see the bathymetry of the area, so I can see where these activities might be relocated, for example, where the areas are suitable or not for my ecosystem of interest. If you're interested in knowing more, we have a documentation page that you can explore, and you can actually explore the demo itself, and we also have a 3D visualization if you're really curious about it. And now I'll hand it over back to Andrew.
Thank you. So we started our project a few months ago. However, the hackathon was a major milestone for us. As we built our whole front end during the hackathon, we integrated our front end with our back end, and we advanced a lot on our software.
Very good. Thank you very much indeed. We'll start off with any questions in the front row here, please, from our jury. Anybody have any questions for the guys from Peniche? No questions? I can't see any online at the moment. Maybe there's some questions online. Okay.
I have a question online.
You have a question online. So what strategies do you have in place to ensure your software is actionable and user-friendly for maritime stakeholders, i.e. the set of skills in your team?
I can take the first one. So for the user-friendly, if you want to go back on the website, so beside the documentation, so everyone can have a look at that, and it explains all the process and all the data, how they were gathered. And it's fairly intuitive. So it means that they do have an options which are self-explanatory, most of the cases, but every layer also has, for example, an information button. So for example, if we want to see the kelp, the distribution of kelp, there's the option to click on the eye on the very left, and this will open a pop-up with, for example, the biological characteristic of kelps. And the same, for example, for the suitability, we have why we're doing the suitabilities. And we can also plan to have a user guide, so to explain like how to add the different layers. And we also have a measurement tool, for example, so all these kind of features can be explained into a sort of documentation which is going to be associated with the one that we already have. And for the team, you want to go for the team?
What for the team?
Yeah, the skills of the team.
The skills of the team. Well, we...
time.
Oops, I'll change this one. So for the skills of the team, where we have done most of the work, Alessandra and I, in the past 6 months, the whole front end was Tobias. We are looking to raise funds quite soon after our first trials. In order to recruit in accordance, but we can adapt quite easily. As we can adapt to different stakeholders, we can grow one aspect faster than the other. We can put more budget on sales if needed, more technical budget if needed. We have so many potential options of growth, and now for in 5, 10, 20 years' time, that we can just adapt. We're still very agile right now, and yeah.
And if you want to know more about the demo, that's the link. You can find the website, the demo, you can explore it a little bit, and the 3D model as well. I highly suggest that, because it's really nice.
Thank you very much indeed, Peniche. Thank you. And next we have the team from La Rochelle. Welcome, La Rochelle.
C'est pas grave. Mais non, on met... Bah, on dit, hey, non, c'est ce que je fais, moi je te dis. Tu me dis en premier, moi je te place à marche. T'en as un, toi? Non. Bah, c'est parti.
Okay, welcome on board with... Thank you. I'm French maritime expert or marine surveyor, and every day I meet some people, some yachtmen, but she don't know how to maintain his boat. Every day I meet people, yachtmen, and they want to buy a new boat or sell his boat, and they can't check officially the state of her boat. So today I've created a new application. It was Hello Yacht for the yachtman and make an auto check about his boat. Yes, sorry. But so in France, the situation, it was the yachtman have a bad maintenance in your boat, and they progress to 38. In fact, 38% of boat rescue is due about the bad maintenance of the boat, and this the situation cost 4.3 million euros to the state in 2022 because the yachtmen don't make a good maintenance on his boat.
So, 1 second boat is due to the lack of rigor, so it's the equivalent of 8 tons of hydrocarbons that thrown into the sea. It's like the entire fuel consumption of the biggest French freight for 1 year. So French organizations denounce this lack of behavior and calls for measures to maintain their boats. Obviously, as maritime expert, Kevin already made this app and wanted to add a reliable and efficient way of solving this problem.
So, how can we equip the pros and help yachtmen to improve the French fleet to avoid pollution in our oceans?
Obviously, with our solution. So welcome to our website, where you can book an appointment whenever and wherever you like, with a certified professional who you can choose only by your criteria.
Then the professional receives the appointment booked in his space in our app. On the day of the appointment, the professional can use the same application to examine the vessels. The examination is based on a list of checkpoints derived from a legal text. For each point, he will be able to attest the condition accompanied by pictures, and a report is also generated for the boater, and Elliot will continue to support them.
Once the examination is complete, the result is disponible in the app which is already available. At the end of diagnosis, you receive a report summarizing the general condition of the boat point by point.
In addition, if your diagnosis is positive, so you will receive a badge that allows you to belong to a real community of responsible boaters to show that you are responsible and be careful to protect the oceans.
And as a complement, here's the AI training for the application. So as you can see, the user will take a picture of his boat with the Elliot's instruction. The picture will then be annotated with the AI. This annotation will be sent to a professional. We will validate or reject them. The picture will be then annotated and stored. Thus, the AI is training with the pictures of the user and the annotation of the professional. This will help in the short term to help the user take a picture of his boat, and in the long term to help him understand the condition of his boat. We also collect status data in order to map the fleet status.
Every year, the boat market accounts for 75,000 sales. Our objective, capture 30% of this market, or 25,000 boats with our inspection service. Based on a certified network of 170 professionals, using our services for only 350 euros per month. It's an unavailable opportunity and increased efficiency for them, and for us, it's a significant share of this booming market.
So our commitment to CSR is deeply rooted and manifests itself through a direct impact that aim at improving the usage and the life cycle of boats. We strive also to raise awareness and educate people who have and own a boat.
We have begun a process with government departments to create a network for monitoring ship condition, and they have agreed about it. Similarly, the creation of a dedicated observatory to produce aggregate data of fleet condition and measure behavior will promote sustainable and responsible practices.
Okay, now you have personal and professional tools for this, for take your picture and take the state of the boat. And we have no for the time data with a beautiful map, but it's the time to make it. Thank you. You can Applause my perfect team. It was lonely student, and thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Do we have any questions from the front row, first of all, please? Any questions at all from the jury who is here? Yep, we have a question there.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks for your presentation. You mentioned that part of the analysis of the pictures was made by an AI, another part was made by a professional.
Yes, on the personal application, you just keep the data of the consumption and how the people use the application and what is the information then going to on the application. The state is just keep about the professional usage. Okay, sorry for my English.
I don't know if it was really clear, but the app, it's for the professional and it's the user that are boaters that's using it to call a professional to help them to maintain their boat in a good shape. And the AA is trained before because we already give him a lot of pictures with some problems in their boats, and like that they can immediately find the problem and send it to the professional that will say, okay, it's certified, I believe that there is a problem, and I will come there, check it, and then it will be repaired. Hopefully, hope so. That's why then they usually have a badge with it to say that it's great.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, do we have any questions online maybe? Can you see any? Do we have anything in the chat pod? Any questions online? No? Okay, we can't see any. Yeah. Okay. Could you read it to us, please, and maybe, yep.
C'est laquelle? What strategies do you have in place to ensure that your software is actionable? Bah alors, ah bah no. I have the question of the team before.
Okay. Sorry.
Sorry.
Okay, any more questions from inside? Okay, here we are, sir.
Hi, thanks for the presentation. Could you tell us a bit about how you validated the problem and how much this is solving for both the professionals and the users?
Oh, sorry. Can you help me?
Yes.
In French, sorry.
Comment tu vas faire pour pouvoir valider les problèmes qui vont être envoyés Comment le professionnel peut dire oui, en effet, c'est un problème?
The professional have a tool on this phone or on a tablet, and they take picture and they just say it's good condition, bad conditions, would necessary reparation, and they automatically generate the state of the boat for the report. And us, we just keep the data about this element for make status of all of boats in France and prepare the prevention to this area.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, La Rochelle. Okay, so that is the end of our third series of pitches. Before our fourth, I would now like to welcome Valerie Barbosa to give us testimony of the 2022 winners, Kuala Lumpur. Okay, so I give you Valerie Barbosa.
Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Oh, this is working, right? Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So it's really difficult to start talking to you after so many amazing pitches. So I hope I'm not going to suck too much at it or my team is going to laugh at me. So let us see if, well, the presentation starts. So I've been asked to tell you a little bit about our Ocean Hackathon experience in Kuala Lumpur. And this was last year. So first question is, why would we ever want to organize an Ocean Hackathon in Malaysia? Well, there are several answers. You already had a bit of an answer with the presentation of Team Nemo a little bit earlier. So Malaysia is truly a maritime nation. So you can see it here in the map, but if we look a bit closely, it has a coastline of over 4,700 kilometers and over 60% of the population that lives in coastal areas. Meaning that the sea and the oceans and the coastal ecosystems don't only have a great impact in the country in terms of biodiversity, but also from the economic point of view. And of course, they are facing challenges that are shared with our other coastal areas, including data management. So the Ocean Hackathon really came in handy to address this. On the end of the French embassy, because it's the Embassy of France in Malaysia which is organizing and funding this event, what do we want to achieve through the Ocean Hackathon? Well, in the first place, is one way to support the policies and strategies of our country in terms of environmental protection. Also, it's a way for us to foster innovation through bilateral and regional collaboration. So through every edition, we try to bring in at least 2 researchers from France to serve as tutors and also build collaborations with local researchers. And finally, we want to strengthen interinstitutional collaboration among universities in Malaysia around the ocean, to have less competition among the institutions and more collaboration. And I hope the universities watching me from home are not going to be mad at me for saying this. So anyway, the first ever Asian edition of Ocean Hackathon, I think we could say it was quite a big success. So maybe we can show the first video now.
Just like whatever you can think about.
Really wanted to thank a lot the universities that
finalizing. If the prediction model is quite
our first team like working like crazy on their pitch. Hello?
From Group Goal 6. Of course, there are lack of awareness.
So thanks a lot. Just a little note, all the beer that you saw was alcohol-free, okay? So some figures about this edition. So there were 74 participants. We had 9 amazing challenges that we selected from the 13 that we received. We have an amazing team of 15 tutors from different institutions in Malaysia, 14 supporting institutions, universities and NGOs. So you have some of the major ones listed there. And this allowed us also to establish a very nice collaboration with OceanCan, Knowledge and Action Network, to build this common project on the oceans with all the universities in Malaysia. And finally, we had the winning mascot, Juanita Sotong. So this comes also to the winner team of the local edition, which is the team Jellygo. They were led by Sim Yi Kwang, which is a researcher at University Science Malaysia. And I think the main strength of this team was their multidisciplinarity and the fact that they had amazing chemistry, so they got along really well. And they developed this app, the Jellygo app. And it's interesting to see that in the beginning, the project, as it was submitted, was to develop a better prediction model for jellyfish around the island of Penang. But through the 48 hours of the hackathon, it became this application that combined this model, but also this emergency action plan, which is for me is the most interesting. So basically, it's a tool that you get stung by a jellyfish, you scan it, and it tells you if you have been stung by a poisonous jellyfish, if it's dangerous or not, and if so, you can get in contact very easily with the closest emergency services. And maybe in France it doesn't seem very relevant, but actually there are very dangerous and poisonous species in Southeast Asia, so this could have a really great impact. And finally, it also included a citizen science tool that will allow to gather more data and make it less patchy. So, this was actually just the beginning of the journey of this team. And we prepared another little short video to show you what it has been happening ever since. So we're going to show it to you now. And can we show the second?
Hi, bonjour. My name is Mong Yichen.
My name is Youngsim.
My name is Sim.
Hello everyone, my name is Wai Leng.
Hi everyone, my name is Ko Heng.
My name is Mai Izatun Raisha.
My name is Izati.
I'm Haipeng.
So this is the morning of the grand finale of the Ocean.
Beach vacation. Jelly go! Vacation. Jelly go!
And other agencies from the Malaysian government. So in this way, they have been really doing great progress for the last year, and we're really thinking that within 2 or 3 months, their project could really come out like a not commercial, but at least public application. So terima kasih, thank you very much for your attention, and enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
Thank you very much indeed, Valerie, that great presentation of the great value of the hackathon. That brings us to our fourth and final series of pictures. And first up, we have, from across the channel, we have Bournemouth. So I give you Bournemouth.
Slideshow. Present review. Did you share our whole screen?
It's the same issue we had earlier.
It's not a different laptop, right? Here's Chris's. Chris, how did you do it?
Analyze it. Right. Share.
You didn't use my laptop. Sharing now.
What screen are you sharing? PowerPoint. Yeah, you're sharing your desk. That's fine. Press share. There you go. Sorry, the internet's a bit slow.
1, 2. Bonjour, I'm Chris, project owner. Today, I'm here to share our innovative solution to an imminent threat to our oceans. 18 years ago, marine biologist Dr. Boris Worm alerted us to the unknown consequences of human activity on ocean biodiversity. Currently, researchers from Curtin University, Western Australia, argue that more quality fish species data could help us to understand this human impact, but traditional methods are slow and inaccurate. Furthermore, this gap significantly slows the advancement of AI technologies crucial for accurate fish species recognition. Such precision is vital not only for ecosystem management, but also for protecting endangered species, according to researchers from the National University of Sciences and Technology, Pakistan. Fish species recognition research is not new. However, we have identified a gap to effectively label large amounts of fish images for better species recognition. Our aim? Simplify data collection, analysis, and species detection by proposing a cost-effective camera solution, develop a novel AI detection, and leverage human phone usage.
To enhance accessibility, we have created a cost-effective camera around €150 per kit. This tech simplifies data recording for our stakeholders and researchers. It's easy use with its auto starts and auto upgrade features. Our fish video capture kits are designed to be adaptable and reusable. During the hackathon, we made a 3D printed casing, added a Raspberry Pi microprocessor, and camera with battery. However, the management of data became a complex issue when dealing with large amounts of images.
Our AI system automates this complex data management task. Using the YOLO algorithm and a pre-trained dataset, individual fish images and critical ocean metrics are captured. At the hackathon, we created an AI system that detects over 50 fish in a single image. We estimate processing up to 3,000 fish images per second. Efficient image processing can achieve accurate species training and recognition. Enough talking, let's take a look. The integration of our camera and AI technology significantly simplifies the fish labeling process for stakeholders, removing the need for manual processing. At the hackathon, we trained a detection model on 2,000 fish images extracted from underwater footage recorded by Bournemouth University biologists. We achieved good results with a small data set. Therefore, we can assume that more images and higher accuracy equals a higher possibility of species recognition. However, labeling large quantities of images proved difficult.
Introducing Finder. Our app allows a user to sort captured images of fishes from fish AI to their respective species. Users identify marine species, encouraging environmental stewardship and improving our fish AI system. We pioneered this new method of identifying fish during the hackathon and developed Finder as a mobile application. It's basically like Tinder, but for fishes. Yeah, my colleague will hand out the phone now to just demonstrate the app.
Our efforts to improve biodiversity involve engaging communities and providing them with opportunities to be part of our cause. Labeling large amounts of fish images will greatly improve species recognition and is essential for ecosystem health assessment. Using local environmental hubs, we can make image labeling fun and rewarding.
By accurately analysing species, we can better understand and foster biodiversity. Our goal is to use fish AI to evaluate the effectiveness of new biodiversity interventions. We envisage our system being implemented in offshore wind farms and other marine interventions because marine net gain has to be recognised as crucial.
Industry can fuel our growth and accessibility. Every license sold to businesses aids their duty to responsibly manage marine ecosystems through our ability to acquire accurate data fast. Therefore, funding Fish AI as a free open source asset for our partners. This model supports business growth, marine research, and local ecological efforts. Fish AI is a beacon of sustainable innovation, making every stakeholder a partner in preserving our oceans. To conclude, our project adds to fish species recognition research by proposing a novel way of labeling large quantities of images whilst engaging communities in marine conservation. It was a huge team effort. I'm Chris, I developed the 3D printing and part AI as well.
Yeah, I'm Mark, I'm a cybersecurity postgrad. I did the Raspberry Pi model and object detection.
I'm cyber forensics, I'm Aaron, sorry, I'm cyber forensics and I did the machine learning.
Hi, I'm Toby, IT postgrad, and I did the mobile application.
Hi, I'm Nikki. I work in the marine composite sector and digital marketing, and I help with the business development.
On our screen here, you can see our object detection working, and it's correctly analyzing and seeing a teddy bear. This goes to prove, how does it know it's a teddy bear? So it's very accurate. This isn't our fish AI model. We have a fish AI model that's working, but for this, we wanted to prove to you that how quickly we can get it up and running, and we have a camera and 3D printed capsule there. So thank you for listening.
Thank you very much indeed. First of all, we have a question from online, I think. How does the AI fish detection system in your prototype differentiate between similar fish, and then I can't read anymore, species?
I think it's basically saying it's difficult to, well, there's no models doing it. Well, the people that are making models and trying to get them working, but the problem is they're labeling large quantities of data. So basically, they are having trouble with labeling all the individual species, and that's where our labeling app comes into play. Because we all spend a lot of time on our phones, and why not swipe left, swipe right on fish, which you might recognise or might not, and help us to train a larger model.
Okay. Any questions from the people in the front row here, please? No questions? Okay. We have one from Valerie there. Thanks.
Sorry, this is maybe because I didn't pay enough attention, but could you clarify what your business model is going to be moving further? Thank you.
Yeah, so basically we will use industry who need to prove marine net gain for the upcoming UN legislation. So we have our partners like research partners, universities. They get to use it for free and it's open source, also communities in that. And then people developing offshore wind farms, marine companies who need to prove their marine net gain for the upcoming UN legislation. They would fund the project, basically.
Okay, thanks very much indeed, Bournemouth. Thank you. And next up, we're returning to France with the team from Toulon. Welcome, Toulon.
Okay, ready? I think you start. So I'm Edouard, this is the Vanessa project. I would like you to imagine the following situation. You are a group of friends, you've been sailing all day, and now it's time to go back. On the way home, you hear various radio messages on the radio. One of the messages is the following one.
Sector San Francisco, United States Coast Guard Sector San Francisco, United States Coast Guard Sector San Francisco. Time 0915 local, 0415 Greenwich Mean Time. Coast Guard has received a report of a 32-foot sailing vessel by the name of Lelle with Rory Williams on board, who is overdue from Sitka, Alaska to San Diego. All vessels in the vicinity are requested to keep a sharp lookout, report any signs to the Coast Guard and assist if possible. This is the United States Coast Guard Sector San Francisco.
So it's quite noisy, there is wind, and we look at each other and we don't understand what was it. But at that moment, we could have saved someone. The problem is we don't understand the message. Do you know that in the US alone, there are 100 million of damage and about 800 deaths? The vast majority of them could be avoided. This is the full transcript of the message we hear. As you can see, it's quite long and complex when you're not used to listening to radio. What we can do with Vanessa is transforming this message into this. With Vanessa, you know what's important immediately and you know what to do. And here is how it works.
I'm Marian, and I would like to tell you a little bit about the brain of Vanessa. So what powers the applications are basically two fine-tuned AI models. One does the transcription and translation if needed from 57 languages. And the second model understands, puts it into the context, and reports to the user. These two models work completely offline, so no internet connection is needed. The data we use to train these models, some of them are public, like port names, phrases. Some of them are our own Channel 16 recordings. Then we synthesize more data, and some of them we obtain on the hackathon, which is AI's names for both names encourages for different countries. So I would like to say a few words about the markets we are targeting. In the beginning, we want to focus on two markets. First is the sailors and boat charter companies. The second one is the coast guards. With sailors, our idea is that the sailor will be able to take Vanessa with him on board to improve the safety. For coast guards, there are two problems that they are facing. First, the human beings are not developed to listen and focus to radio for hours at a time. We are able to give them the live transcripts, so they save energy and effort and improve safety. And the second problem they are facing is that 99% of the messages are trash to them, so we will help them classify and find this 1% that they need. And in the future, we want to do commercial shipping and insurance. So we have the sailors market with a free app that has the subscription model for each regional model for 10 to 20 euros. It will work with the integrated Bluetooth or separate Bluetooth microphone that can go to VHF radio. For Coast Guards, we plan to do the device that costs roughly 20,000 euros, and it works on many channels at the same time. And commercial shipping, we are ready for the embedded AI chips that are just coming to the market. Okay.
So there are some competition, but we see potential for partnership. For example, in aviation, they're trying to do transcription, but it's not working well. So we have a technology that works well.
Okay, there's so many more features we have in the app, but we have no time to talk about them, so I'll just quickly mention them. We have anchor alarm, knowledge base, SOS button, text-to-speech, engine diagnostics through audio, all AI-powered, and we, of course, provide the now instruments. And now there's a time for a quick demo.
So welcome to the Vanessa app. Right now, in the background, a lot of the machine learning models are being loaded. This first view is the log, where all of the previous messages can be stored after they've been transcribed. You can listen to them if you missed them. And of course, the second view is the live stream, where you just connect via Bluetooth to the radio, or you put the phone next to the receiver, and whenever a message comes up, it transcribes it into English, saves it, and stores it in the previous view. In any of the views, you can swipe up and put the information for the boat name, size, type, numbers of persons on board, and after you save it, you have an automatic transcription being able to be done in the SOS. So if you are a non-native English speaker and you have a problem, you can have, for example, custom SOS message like this.
У нас закончилось топливо. Нам нужна помощь.
So in this case, we had a Russian person who cannot speak English and who ran out of gas. Transcription will, from any language, convert it to English, create an alert message with all the relevant information, your current position, and it'll transcribe text-to-speech.
Pan, 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 pan. This is Amora, 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 pan, pan. Position 48 degrees, 23 minutes, 22 seconds north, 4 degrees, 29 minutes, 2 seconds west. We are a 40-foot amateur sailing vessel with 5 people on board. We have run out of fuel. Requesting immediate assistance. Over.
And there you go.
Okay, thank you very much for your time. And we are ready for questions, and we also have the live demo ready if judges want to see it.
Okay, so do we have any questions from the front row, first of all, please? Any questions? Okay, gentleman just there. Yep.
Thank you very much for this good presentation. Have you already been in contact with the French Coast Guard to hear what they need and what they already use, maybe?
Yes, we started to talk with the Coast Guard through another French company who we are going to partner with, and yes, after this hackathon, we will start have interviews.
Okay, very good. Do we have any questions online, maybe? Any questions from our jurors online that you can see on your computer, or nope?
No.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, you can, yes. You have to shout.
Yes, you know that AI and neural networks, like for the news, are prone to make mistakes. So have you thought about safety and robustness of your models?
Yes, indeed. So everything is, before anything is transmitted, of course, the person can see it. So there's number one, safety mechanism. And for interpretation, we also show the transcription and we also show the interpretation of the message. So we show the original form, and when the button is pressed, it shows the compressed form for normal people to understand without reading the whole text.
Okay, we also have a question online here, I think. What are the challenges faced in implementing AI for analyzing voice flows? What was your accuracy, and how do you plan to address them?
Yes, this is a very good question. Thank you for this. So the challenges are usually, for our use case, is the noise, because sometimes it's the engine, sometimes it's a different radio, microphone, it's not a good signal. So it's very difficult to create this, to analyze the radio with the traditional ways. We found out training the models on the noisy audio brings much better results than filtering out the noise and training the model on this data. So that was one of the biggest challenges. We spent a lot of time on this, and we realized, like, yes, the data needs to be noisy so the model can be trained well. And the accuracy, we just don't want to release this number yet, but it's better than anything that's on the market right now.
Excellent. Thank you very much indeed, Toulon. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And next up, we have CapTown. So welcome to you, CapTown. A very warm welcome.
Sorry. Is the full screen moved? It's fine. Okay. We are Team Sardash, presenting the solution to the challenge of predicting the sardine run. But before we proceed, we'd like to show you a visual representation of the sardine run and associated predators. Audio, please.
As the shell gets ever smaller, each sardine scrambles.
Unfortunately, there seems to be some lag, so we'll just continue. Basically, the clip was going to demonstrate a shoal of fish and the predators rounding them up. And this is quite the spectacle because you'll have dolphins, sharks, and seals herding them up into groups and then taking turns periodically to actually attack and consume the sardines. And there's also visuals of them actually breaching the surface of the ocean. And this is a particular tourist attraction, and we'll go on into detail.
Okay, so the Sardine Run is a unique spectacle where millions of sardines migrate from the east up to the wild coast. And this is a crucial event for marine ecosystem and also has great economic and tourism potential. For example, the 2007 Sardine Run generated a revenue of about $270,000 US. Therefore, it is crucial to come up with accurate predictions of this event. Now, here lies the problem. Currently, there is a lack of accurate predictions due to complex factors that are at play. And this leads to significant economic losses for the fishing industry, tourism, and local communities. Because sharks are one of the predators that are at play during this event, it's also important to know the timing of the removal and restoration of shark nets, because if you remove them too late, the sharks get stuck because they are attracted to the sardines. But if you remove them too early, you put swimmers at risk of being attacked by sharks. So all this necessitates accurate models that predict the timing and duration of this event. So we introduced the Chasers tool. The Chasers tool is a cutting-edge web tool that uses historical sardine run data and other important environmental parameters, such as sea surface temperatures, because this event relies on a cool water current in the ocean. And if this current is not present, the event doesn't occur. And this was the case in 2013 and 2014. So the web tool predicts the accurate dates, location, and movements of the trajectories of the sardines. The tool is very important for economic stability, and also is a great way to generate profit for local communities, especially those that rely on fishing to generate an income. But now we have to find out how the tool works.
Okay, so basically, this particular use case, we're approaching two problems, where you can search by a range of dates to find out where along the coast you'll be able to actually find a sardine run occurring. And then the output would be then a list of the beach locations in order of accuracy and most likelihood. And then the other option would then be to search based on a location as to when the most likely occurrence of the sardine run will happen on a given location. So as you can see here, we'll have the list of dates is shown on the diagram. So basically, this particular application is going to model this as a paid subscription business solution, where we will also offer freemium with limited functionality. So the way the modeling occurs is that our model uses environmental variables, as my colleague mentioned, as well as other online and social input data. So for businesses to be viable, considering tourists as well as fisheries, accurate data would actually improve their turnarounds. So this paid subscription would then contribute to their commercial livelihood.
And then the freemium would be then targeted to those who would want to experiment and possibly see and test out the application. We'll also have a licensing functionality which we will want to implement, which will then be used by businesses who want to integrate that particular data or information into their use case and business offerings as well. Okay.
Okay, so as part of the next steps, we plan to incorporate social media engagement. So that is basically if someone is at the particular location and they spot something that might be relevant to the event, they take pictures using a hashtag and they will upload the pictures on social media. And this will alert the model that there's new information available and then allow it to update. In exchange, we are going to put an incentive program in place to sort of reward the participants and encourage them to participate in improving the accuracy of the model. We also hope to collaborate with these businesses along the Wild Coast to actually offer sardine run dive expeditions. And these typically range from anywhere between $3,000 to $7,000. And yeah, that is basically. Is that?
And then.
Okay, thanks very much indeed, CapTown. Don't forget questions. Does anybody on the panel here in the front row have any questions to start with, please? Any questions for the guys? Yes, the gentleman here. Here we are, far away.
Thanks for your presentation. Can you elaborate a bit on your prediction model?
Okay, yes. So the approach we chose was a time series prediction, which also incorporates locations, coordinates rather. So it's a spatial temporal time series problem. And that's what we used to attack this particular challenge. Or the kernels that I used include the XGB boost, which has been mentioned to show good results on space-time modeling. So it's still a work in progress, and yes, those are the details of how we approached this challenge.
Okay, we have a couple of questions online, so we will start with Linwood Pendleton at the bottom. So beyond temperature, what other ocean data variables did you use in your predictive models, please?
Okay, so I'll hand it over.
So we also used rainfall data to because it is also a factor in affecting the sardine run. But the most important variable that we used is the sea surface temperature variable, because it, as mentioned before, the cool water current is the main feature or the main thing that's responsible for the sardine run to happen. So at this stage, that was the important parameter, but we also used rainfall. But there are other variables that could be incorporated, such as the chlorophyll levels, plankton, and all of that other good stuff.
Okay, and one final question from the University of Massachusetts, from Krishna. What are the key environmental parameters your algorithm considers most critical in predicting the sardine run? So that's that question.
Okay, it sounds similar to the previous one. So there's the temperature. So sardines are cool water fish, and the coast in which the sardine run happens just outside of Durban is a warm water territory. So the key environmental variable is definitely the temperature, which allows for them to swim up along a channel towards the coast, as well as the presence of chlorophyll that she mentioned, which is basically the source of food and energy that they'll use for their migration from the coast.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Well done, CapTown. Thank you. And now, last but not least, we have Cherbourg.
Test. A little technical problem. Hello everyone, it's a real pleasure to be in front of all of you today. My name is Elise.
And my name is Jonathan.
And before we start, I have a quick question for you. Have you ever dreamed of being able to see what is happening underseas at any time?
And you, oceanographers, have you ever dreamed of being able to monitor your work area continuously from anywhere in the world and be able to acquire any data and parameters?
Well, in that case, we have a way to make your dreams come true. Let me explain it in more details. The goal of our project is to see the evolution of the seabed in the context of climate change and to raise public awareness by giving citizens a new way to see the marine environment. It is a part of a participatory science approach.
So it is called Little Photo, and I'll dive into its, the way it works a bit more in depth. So first, you have to download the app on your phone or computer, and you will then connect to any underwater cameras, such as this one, linked to your account. You can divide how it functions in 3 parts. The first one being the waterproof housing, in which is encased all of the electrical components. Then the steel case tripod. And all of this is linked with the wire that you see right there to a buoy on the surface with GSM modules and the batteries.
Yeah, and thanks to Little Photo, you can take a photo at any time and then visualize live what is happening underseas. When the user can see the footage, they can choose to archive them on a database along with different data, such as the time, date, and geographical coordinates. We can also add some external data, such as the temperature, the current data, and values, and also some meteorological data and some tide values, such as the coefficient and the water level.
So some underwater cameras already exist, but none are as easy to access and pilot as Little Photo because of its ergonomics and the fact that you can access it from anywhere in the world.
Yeah, and that it's entirely autonomous
Yes.
as well. And so we also worked on a complete business model. And since our project has both a scientific and a pedagogic goal, our customer targets can be various. We already talked with some of the actors of the marine environment in Cherbourg, and both scientists and private companies showed a real interest in our project.
For example, we talked to a private salmon farming company in Cherbourg that was really showing interest in lithophotO to monitor their bottom cages.
Yeah, we also already have a team who is ready to answer all questions and issues that our future customers will have. And we will also do a mediatic campaign before we launch our startup to really, well, promote our project, and to we will also work with local authorities to increase our visibility at a grand public scale, and also increase our participatory science approach.
So we thought of many different ways to enhance the project, such as improving the autonomy, as well as improving the quality of the photo. We looked into a very specific camera named Orphe. We looked at non-aggressive tripods to avoid any biological contamination, and also avoid some of the corrosion that we could face, and also cybersecurity for the app. So talking about the app, I'm going to go a bit more in depth on how is it today. So as of right now, as we're talking, the app is able to take photos, to search for a photo at any date or nearest the date that you input, but more importantly, it's able to plan ahead of time photos. So let's say, for example, that tonight a storm is approaching and you want to see its impact on the seabed.
Yeah, I really want to see its impact on the seabed.
Yeah, but it's at night. You're not going to stay awake all night.
No, I'm a
right?
big sleeper.
Well, lucky you. You can have the lithophotO app take pictures for you before, during, and after the storm. Then sleep peacefully and wake up to the smell of fresh croissants and fresh pictures.
That's amazing.
I know.
But anyway, we talked about how we created our project, its current state, and what we see for the future. As I said earlier, we have a complete business model, but it's very dense. So if you have any specific question about it, please feel free to ask.
Also, we planned a surprise and to show you how the prototype works. But unfortunately, the network connectivity is pretty bad here, so we weren't able to. But we'd like to thank our team. If you can come down,
yeah.
and if all of you can applaud them, because they did amazing work. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, and thank
you to all of the organizers of the Ocean Hackathon.
Okay, so do we have any questions for the assembled people from the panel, first of all? Anyone? Yes,
yeah.
Certainly.
Oh.
Right. That's great. Okay, so far away.
Thank you very much for your presentation. It's a bit astonishing. It's not a question, but just an advice. I think you have to put regarding the French regulation. You have to put some identification marks on the top of the buoys regarding the fishermen, merchant fleet, from night to day, in order not to destroy your tripod.
Yeah, we know, and we already looked. Solutions for these problems, and we will ask some advice to specialists before we launch the startup as well.
Yeah, we looked into the law to be sure that it wouldn't impact too much, and also to what would be the problems that we would face, and that's something that we have in mind and that we studied.
And maybe a second advice: you should tell to the DGA regarding your device in order to take some picture from dark boats and so on.
Maybe that's a good idea. And regarding the private companies, for instance, the private salmon farming company in Cherbourg, they have some private areas, so it won't be a problem for them, for instance.
Yeah, for defense and submarine.
Yeah. Also in Cherbourg, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Do we have any questions online that we can see? Okay, so how do you ensure the accuracy and quality of underwater images captured for monitoring seabed changes? Often, image data has noise and requires you to have high-quality images for better accuracy.
Yeah. So as I said earlier into the presentation, we looked into a specific camera. Its name is Orphe, and it is able to remove any kind of distortion coming from water and such. So we actually have faced this problem when we tested it, and we are conscious of it. But there are solutions, although they can be pricey. So that's why we tried different approaches, because we don't want to have only very, very expensive materials such as that.
Yeah, and also we could use some IAs to clean the photos. We already looked into one of them named Topaz, and it's an IA who is used by divers to clean their photos if there is any perturbation on it.
Any other question, maybe?
And that was a very great question.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your questions.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. So last but not least, thank you, Cherbourg.
Thank you.
Thank you all, really.
It's never easy going last, so well done. Okay, so before we move on, I will just briefly explain the scoring system, because we've now reached that all-important moment in the competition in which the judges are going to award their scores. So as it says here on the screen, each judge will designate his or her 3 winning teams. I would just point out, very important, advisors cannot score their own city, okay? Advisors cannot score their own city, okay? So while the judges are collecting and collating the scores, I would like to invite our keynote speakers, please. These are Guillaume Mazet and Kevin Balem, okay? If they're here. The floor is yours.
So hello everybody. While Guillaume is setting up the presentation, I will introduce ourselves. My name is Kevin Balem. I'm a development and data engineer at the LOPS laboratory here at Ifremer in Brest. And Guillaume is a researcher, oceanographer, physician. And we're going to talk about the journey of the data, the ergo data. I hope you will enjoy the journey with us.
Sorry about that. Okay. So I have definitely less experience than all our great speakers today. Welcome. So let's get started then. So as Kevin pointed out, I'm a physical oceanographer with Ifremer here in Brest. And it's my pleasure to introduce you with the few slides of this talk. So we are going to talk about the data story when we go from that kind of sensor here on the floor to the smartphone and basically all the API and all the data centers that
most, I would say all, the candidates have shown us this afternoon that they need to develop their beautiful new applications. Okay, so the journey starts at least 30 years ago, at a time where collecting data in the ocean was very complex. One would need a very large ship, experienced scientists and technicians, expensive equipment, and to face weathers, difficulties in most of areas in the ocean. So basically, the data that you would collect at this point were very costly, and then obviously limited and restricted to a few users, and basically the rich nations with the expertise and the money to do so. So at the end of the 90s, we started to move from that kind of upper left here equipment, where we see on the board of an American ship here a very large buoy that was nearly 500 kilograms and nearly 6 to 7 meters tall, and that was very complex to manipulate. And at the end of the 90s, with the miniaturization of all the sensors and the electronical devices, we were started to be able to fit all the required equipment and sensors on very much smaller robots, basically, and probes, as the one you can see here on the right, which was about 2 meters height and just a few about 20 to 30 kilograms weight. And with this kind of evolution, the big revolution that started in 2000 was that with such an equipment, it was kind of cheap and easy to deploy dozens and dozens of them all over the ocean and to start to monitor the interior of the ocean in real time and at a very limited expense. So on this animation here, I show you the development, the implementation of the Argo International Array of Observation of the Ocean that started in 2000. And as you can see, all these white dots here are that kind of very small robots in the ocean equipped with high-tech sensors that provide us with the data. And in 2007, it took about 7 years for the international community to build such a global network. We had thousands of floats all over the oceans that were sampling the ocean in real time. That was a huge success that kept going on ever since, and we are on the verge of new developments for this observation array, but it's not the subject of the talk this afternoon. So if we look at more carefully, more precisely to such a new device, here on the upper left on the upper left picture, you can see the real time, the real size of the sensor here on the Ifremer pool testing facility. You have the technical composition of the float here, and it's basically a float that is able to control its floatability, so it's able to go up and down the water column. And on the top of the probe, you have a bunch of sensors that amount to about 1/3 of the total cost of the probe. And to give you some contrast with the previous slides, where imagine decades ago, where we needed dozens of scientists and technicians on the float to deploy very expensive and heavy equipment, today we are able to deploy such floats, 20 knots, full speed in the Southern Ocean from a sailing float. In this example here, it's Bernastam who is deploying such an Argo float. And you basically just have to switch on the float and to drop it in the ocean. It's that easy to deploy, so that's why it's been such a successful story to deploy it all over the global ocean over the last 23 years. So once it is in the ocean, such probes have a repeated programmation that Kevin will now explain to you.
Okay, so now we just saw what an Argo float is capable of doing, but how does it operate? So we just saw the deployment. It's the beginning of the float life. Then the float is going to sink to what we call the drifting or parking depth. It usually is 1,000 meters. And then during about 10 days, the float is going to drift through natural ocean currents. And then at the end of this 10 days period, the float sinks again to a profiling depth, which is usually 2,000 meters, but now with the newer float, an Argo float can go deeper, 4,000, even 6,000. And then, during its ascent to the surface, the float measures ocean physical variables like temperature, salinity, pressure, and now more. In the newer float, some BGC variables are now measured, like oxygen and others. And when the float is at the surface, it transmits the data through satellite to data centers on land. And what we can see on the right there, it's the essential data from an Argo float. We call that a profile, which is the temperature or salinity in function of the depth. And now that the data is within our database, we can follow the data life and say goodbye to our float. The float is going to continue its life and transmit more and more data. But here today we're following the data. So mainly our profile of temperature and salinity are going through two main routes. The first one is the direct route from the data to the oceanographers, the scientists. They can connect to the database and use directly the Argo data for their science. Here in an example, the graph here are some projections extracted from the IPCC reports about the ocean state. So we can find ocean temperatures, ocean oxygen, etc., etc. That's all coming from Argo floats. And the other example on the right, it's the temperature change within the Atlantic Oceans in the form of color stripes that we see a lot. And the second route is when the data is brought to a much wider audience through what we call operational oceanography. So, for instance, a lot of partners of this hackathon, like Copernicus Marine Service, Ifremer, Météo France, or the CHOM, they distribute the data through much technical services like OpenDAP, AirDAP, Data Server, S3, and so on. And this new technical means of distribution open a way to application, to new users, etc. And an example of application for this operational oceanography is, for example, this smartphone application. We also have a smartphone application. This is called the Argo Floats app. It's available on the Play Store if you are curious. In this app, you can access all the float data in near real time, the old data as well. And the data that we are using in this app are distributed by Ifremer through AirDAP servers and Elasticsearch database. This is a good way to show data to a wider audience. We use it in school project or communication project like here today. But it's also a good way to test technical ways to distribute the data. So like we saw in the smartphone application, the data can be distributed in its original format that we can see on the top left. That's profile data. So we have a latitude and a longitude associated to a temperature or salinity data. But if we want to compare data sets and aggregate some data, what we do is to grid the data. So basically the Argo data becomes a 4D grid in X, Y, Z and time. And in this way, we can aggregate the Argo data with some more data. We can see a various in situ data example, moorings, gliders, even some coastal data sets that we can aggregate into a grid with satellite data also. And those gridded data sets are then distributed and exploited still in oceanography. And an example in the next slide, this animation, beautiful animation made by NASA, shows the ocean currents extracted from a reanalysis called ECO-V2. And this reanalysis is produced by a modelization, and this modelization uses Argo data and other in situ data and satellite data to produce ocean variables, ocean state. And to do so, Argo data are very important because the interior of the ocean are not sampled very well by other global observatories. Okay, so this is the end of the Argo journey. Thank you for listening to this small talk, and congratulations to every one of you. We were very glad to be invited today and to hear about your projects. Thank you.
So, does somebody have a question there at the back? I see.
Okay.
You want to do it? Well, when they ran out of battery, we lost contact with them, and they probably go down to the bottom of the ocean. Yeah, it's horrible, I know.
And each float lasts about 200 cycles, so they live about 5 to 7 years before the battery run out. And on some floats, expensive ones or easy ones to retrieve, there are now some attempts to get them back. We can tell the floats to stay on the surface at some point, so we can try to retrieve it.
Well, actually, so it's not horrible, quantitatively speaking, but qualitatively, it's not something that we are happy with. So we are actively working on many ways to recover the floats and to improve the life expectancy and to get much better.
I think there's another hand up at the back. There's a hand up at the back, I think. The gentleman from Toulon, maybe.
Well, currently there are about 4,000 floats active in the ocean, and we basically lost nearly 15,000 of them over the last 25 years, basically. Well, I won't go to the quantitative route of telling you it's not that an expensive and horrible pollution of the ocean. I know it's unsustainable for me to say it. But quantitatively speaking, it's not something that is comparable by far to any pollution without any regards of quantitative measure compared to what's being done to the ocean on other parts. But it's definitely not something that we are happy with, and we are working on it. We welcome any good ideas to help us improve that. The scientific value of the data is way too important to drive our understanding of the role of the ocean in climate that so far the community has judge that it's a price that may be expensive, but we need to pay it right now.
A lady from Rimouski, I believe, has a question or a suggestion.
We have some floats under the ice. Only they can transmit their data in near real time. So basically, in the summer, they transmit all of their data at once. So maybe that's why we can see more data on the animation, but well, we don't have many floats on ice-covered region. But we do, so there are actually some technical developments about ice detection on the floats. But we still have to figure out some clever ways to interpolate the positions under the ice. Yeah. Or maybe the float tide. Yeah.
So for more than 15 years, the array was not targeting the Arctic Ocean. It was away from the first goal of the observational array that was focusing on the large-scale ocean away from the ice, because it's a complicated issue. So it's only over the last few years that we started to have probes that were able to operate under ice. But as Kevin pointed out, there are still some issues with regard to the localization of the data.
Any more questions from the guys? Oh, yeah. Well, the chap at the back here from CapTown. Yep.
So the question is about the travel made, the distances covered by the floats during the drift and their whole lifetime. So basically it depends on where they are deployed. Some of them are deployed in the Southern Ocean, and a few of them that lasted for nearly 10 years went all through the Southern Ocean. And some of them are deployed in a quiet Pacific area in the middle of the gyre, and they would stay around a 1,000-kilometer area for many years. So it depends on where they are deployed. And basically the drift, so the successive position of the floats give us an information about the currents at 1,000-meter depths. So this information is very helpful to help us make maps of the currents in the interior of the ocean. And without this information, we wouldn't have any idea of these currents with such amount of precision, basically.
Any more questions? Yeah, we'll take one. Oh no, that's someone stretching and yawning. Sorry, that's not actually a question. Okay. Thank you very much indeed, guys. Absolutely fascinating. Thank you. Okay, we are very nearly at results time now. Thanks once again to Guillaume and Kevin for that fascinating talk. Okay. So, just a little reminder of what is on offer today for the successful teams. Okay, so for those who come in third place, that's 1,500 euros. Okay. For those who come in at second place, that's 3,000. And for the grand winners, that will be 5,000. Obviously, to be spent on IT devices, marine activities, etc. I was once a student. I know where money goes. Okay, so just to reiterate that, we will be checking. So if you wouldn't mind waiting a few moments while we collate the scores, we'll be with you as soon as possible. So relax for a couple of minutes, okay? Do you want to do?
Can announce the person who will give the prize.
Okay.
I did cluster marking français because he's here.
Okay.
For the second the third prize.
Okay, so third first, yeah? Oh no, first, do...
I'm sorry.
Okay, so that's third.
The second, sorry. Yes.
Okay.
The winner it will.
And who is second? And that's third, yeah? So we start with...
Conception.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, so... No. Just a little last-minute verification. We'll be with you in seconds for you.
Alors, 1, 2, 3.
Sure.
Sorry.
So Kuala Lumpur first.
Yes.
So who's announcing? Shall I ask them to come? Okay, the results are in. Okay, we've reached the end and the results are in. So first of all, I'd like to invite Michel Kuska of Serema, please, to come and award. Is he? Okay, here he comes. Here we are. Here we are.
Yes. But you can announce it.
Okay, I will announce it. There's a massive check waiting for you here, not to end up behind the bar of the Student Union. I would like to announce that in third place, we have Kuala Lumpur. Okay, so that is congratulations to Kuala Lumpur. So next, can I ask Alexandra Lukovic, please, to come to and award the second prize. And Pierre Serraud, sorry, there's two. And Pierre Serraud. From me, from her. Yeah, okay. Okay, so in second place, it gives me great pleasure to announce we have Concepción. Come and get the check. And finally. Congratulations to both teams so far. Enjoy taking that on as hand luggage. Last two, these both, yeah. Okay, very well done, guys. Okay, now to award the winning prize, I would like to invite Céline Liret from Oceanopolis and Jean-Claude Legac from Chaume, please. No, no, no. It gives me great pleasure to kind of announce the winner of this year's Ocean Hackathon is Toulon. Congratulations to Toulon. I would now like to, guys, wait a sec. I would now like to invite the 3 winning teams to have their photo taken, please. So Toulon, stay where you are. And with their ambassadors too, please. Okay, so can we have Concepción, Toulon, Kuala Lumpur, and their ambassadors for the winner's photograph? And with your mascot things. Thanks. Come on, guys. Yep, yep. Down onto the stage. Don't be shy. Bring in massive checks. And the ambassadors too, please. So I think it just remains to say congratulations to you all. You all made it to the final. Thank you very much for coming all this way. Some of you have come an awful long way. So thank you very much indeed, and congratulations to you all. And we look forward to inviting you to the next Ocean Hackathon in 2025. See you there.